All right, we are back with another Lost Sector guide. A couple weeks ago, there were server issues, so I had to wait for the rotation to come back, and then I got sidetracked. But anyway, we're back today. We are on Sepulcher on the Throne World. I am starting off with Titan. Don't worry, I'm going to cover every class. We're on Strand Titan today, and I'm using Monte Carlo, Loaded Question, Circular Logic. Not a requirement to have any of these weapons. I just like using them because they're fun. And with Titan, it's just going to be the fastest way to farm it, at least for me, because I play best on Titan. I'm a Titan main. And Strand Titan, you can pretty much do anything you want. You're never going to be in danger, and so you'll see I'm just playing so recklessly because I can. I'm literally never going to die. So you can really get up close and personal, which is why, you know, if you're a hunter or a warlock, you don't want to watch this because this is not the strategy that you want to do. But it doesn't matter how you handle this room. I went ahead and went for the barrier champion first. You've got one wizard on the right side. The wizard on the other classes especially is very annoying, so I like to take it out first. But that's all you have here. Just one barrier, one wizard, a bunch of regular enemies, some acolytes, and it's very easy. You get a couple waves that spawn in, and once you clear out everybody, you're going to get this light bearer wizard that spawns in, and you can just nuke it down very quickly. Doesn't really matter how you do it. It's not very dangerous at all, and it takes a while to pop into super. Like, you know, you see like 10-15 seconds, so you should be able to kill it no problem there. This next room here, we're gonna have a barrier champion immediately in this room right here, and he just starts retreating right away. So if you can't get to it, it's totally fine. As you can see here, I was like, man, I missed this barrier champion, but it just retreats into the other room, and it will kind of hang out right where you see it here. Sometimes it'll go off to the left-ish, and we should easily be able to take it out here. If you're missing Woven Mail right here, now's a good time because we're going to have a, as you can see, an unstoppable champion and an ogre. So two ogres that will come out and will try and laser you down, and they can actually weed through your health pretty easily. So I'm just going to super here. I have it. Might as well use it. We can use that suspend part for the super to suspend the barrier and take it out in 2 swings with all these enemies around. With Syntheseps, we just do so much damage for all of our melees, including the Frenzied Blade melee, which is awesome. So this Unstoppable's chasing me right here. I'm not worried about it at all. I've got my Woven Mail. I have my Fusion Rifle ready to go to stun it, and 2 melees kills it. That's all it takes. So the rest of this room, we have no more champions, but we do have one more light bearer. This time we have a hunter, solar hunter, that we have to go for. So I'm not, that was a full super, and it only did about 40% of my health. So we are rocking and rolling here, not concerned at all. And we can use circular logic and all that unraveling to take it out very easily. And that's really the bulk of this room. We might have a couple other enemies that are hanging out, and we'll have to kill everything in order to open that green door to progress. And then we are already at the final room here. So if you saved your super for this spot, you should be able to basically one-shot this boss right here. Doesn't matter how you do it, but I'm just going to melee to get some Woven Mail. The way I have my build set up, every time I melee and get a kill, an orb spawns, and that gives me Woven Mail. So I'm able to actually chunk out quite a bit of damage just from circular logic. This machine gun here, I almost killed it, but decided to start working on other enemies instead right here, just to play it safe. This is a flawless run. All these are, just so they're clean and easy to understand, but you don't have to get flawless. I always like to mention that. And if you feel like I'm playing way too aggressive here, that's fine. You don't need to play this crazy, but I just like showing you what you can do with these builds once you master them. Because as you can see, I am never in the red. I think maybe once or twice I've been in the red health this entire run. And so if you can work to that level, it's a good goal. Lost sectors are a great place to practice playing aggressively in high-end content. And so it makes you a lot better at different areas of the game. But I already got my super back because of my build setup. So it's just, I probably didn't even need to pop it here, but we did it anyways. Just making sure there's no more enemies laying around, and then we can go ahead and grab this chest. Probably can get this run, I would say realistically, down to, I don't know, 3.5 minutes if I really tried, but 424 is not bad. But let's move on to Hunter. where we are going Arc Hunter, and I actually had to kind of relearn this playstyle. So if you're better than me at Arc Hunter, then feel free to play a little bit more aggressively. But we're going with the Liar's Handshake build. You can do a lot of melee damage. It's a lot of fun. You're doing a lot of dodging and melees back and forth, back and forth. I'm using Necrochasm. You do not have to use it. I just wanted to try it out. I'm using a fusion rifle and a machine gun. But as long as you have anything arc or strand, you're going to be good. Obviously, you want to handle Unstoppable and Barrier Champions as well. But starting off with this room here, I usually like to take out that wizard on the right side first. So you're going to have a wizard on the right side and a Barrier Champion on the left side. The wizard tends to be a lot more annoying to deal with if he stays alive. So I can't remember if I killed it. Yeah, I did kill it first here. And so it was easy to kill, and then we can work on this Barrier Champion after. And just kind of clearing out some of the acolytes first, just to be safe. You can hang back all the way in that doorway if you want to as well, just to play it really safe. I didn't feel like I had to do that here, but if you want to, you can definitely do that. And yeah, that Barrier Champion is the last champion in this room. And then we just have to clear out all the rest of these acolytes to spawn in a Lightbearer Wizard. And it's very easy. It's the only enemy that spawns in, and you have to clear out everything else first. So it's just a 1v1. Very easy. And there we go. Once that animation starts, you know it's about to happen. And we can easily just take it out. Usually after about 10 seconds, it goes into super, but the super is not very dangerous at all. So I was able to take it out before it even entered super. Right here, immediately to the left in this room, we have a Barrier Champion. If you can take it out here, great. It prevents it from going into the next room, but as you can see, I missed it, and that is okay. Doesn't matter. It's very quick. Like right when you step across that doorway, he's going to start backing up, and he's always going to go around that left column there. And if you can take him out right away, great. It's fine if you can. As you can see here, unfortunately, both ogres have spawned in. One of them is an unstoppable ogre. The other one is just a regular one. And usually the unstoppable will eventually work its way close to you, like right at this doorway. So I usually like to hang out right here. And there was a lot of action in the middle, so I just decided to super, and I think it did okay. It probably wasn't the best, smartest super, but whatever. So we got some more thrall, and as you can see, we have also a solar hive lightbearer with the hunter there, and we definitely want to hang back because it is a solar burn, and so it can actually do quite a bit of damage to us if we're just out in the open. And there's that unstoppable champion. All we have to do is pull out the fusion rifle, and he won't usually look around there, so I had to kind of peek out a little bit there, but very easy to take out. It should only take a couple stuns with this combo here. And boom. That's all you need. Just hang back here the whole time. You don't want to be out in this area, wide out in the open, with that unstoppable alive. Definitely not. Especially when there's a hive lightbearer there as well. So we took out most of the enemies just by waiting behind that wall or in that previous room there. There's a few more of these acolytes, the solar boomers, which can actually, as you can see, do quite a bit of damage. I actually wasn't expecting that. So if you want to continue to hang back a little bit, you can, just to play it a little bit more safely. But remember, you don't have to do these flawlessly. It doesn't improve any exotic chances or anything like that. But it is a good way to practice going for the flawless every time. It just makes you better at high-end content. So I always like to show that in these videos too, and it makes it a lot smoother and easier to watch. But we are coming up on the last room here. Pretty easy. We're at 4 minutes, so I guess this is on the slower side of typical Lost Sector clears. Most of the newer destination Lost Sectors take a while, especially like the Neomuna ones. There's just a lot going on there, but you'll see here I just triggered the fight by killing some of those thrall there. I'm waiting for my super to come back. It's almost there, but I'm kind of hanging back using this column as cover. And my grenade actually got the jolt proc on that boss there, which is why you saw all those damage numbers pop up. Pretty cool to see. But I do have my super back now. I can retreat back in this room just like any other Lost Sector. You can go all the way back to collect yourself if you need to, if you're really low on health. But This room only has one barrier knight and a bunch of enemies, obviously. But that's the only champion we have to deal with to get platinum. So not too many champions in this Lost Sector, which I kind of like. But the boss is never going to come all the way down here. He's always just going to hang out in that middle area, which easily allows us to deal with that barrier knight. Or I maybe spoke too soon. This was actually really annoying. But this can happen. This is real. You might get a barrier champion to almost die, and then something happens to where you just have to regroup, kill some more enemies. That's fine if the barrier heals up, which happened here. It's going to add a few more seconds, but that's real life. You can't always get perfect runs all the time. So we're going to deal with them. This is round 2, 1v1 with the barrier knight. And it ends up being a very easy kill because my super ability actually killed the main boss. So we just have a few more regular enemies around. You don't have to kill them here, but I just like to clear it out a little bit. And we ended up getting an exotic here, which is great, but that is Hunter. Let us move on to Warlock. So I also had to dust off my Warlock a little bit because I just run Solar Warlock, usually for raids or for GMs. But Arc Warlock is actually a lot of fun. I kind of want to mess around with this a little bit more. I'm using the Vesper of Radius. Great exotic for the Arc Warlock. And then a pretty standard setup, I would say. I'm using the Rufus's Fury. You don't need it. Delicate Tomb, just a fun fusion rifle, but you don't have to have it at all. Any arc fusion or strand fusion rifle is going to work just fine. But this just gives us a little bit more ionic traces. And then obviously Circular Logic. That's probably the MVP of this season's Lost Sectors for me. I just like running it. It's a great weapon. It feels good. And what we're going to do here is, obviously our Arc Souls are going to help take care of a lot for us. But we're going to take out that wizard on the right first because it can be really annoying leaving it alive if we just let it run rampant for too long. But Barrier Champion on the left side, that's the only champion in this room here, so we can just deal with it while we're in our Healing Rift and while our Arc Souls are doing work for us. We're going to have a couple waves of Acolytes pop in, not difficult at all. As you can see, we just kind of one-shot everything here for the most part. And then once we clear out everything, we're going to get a Lightbearer Wizard to spawn out, which is happening right now. Watch out for those Lucent Moths. But the Lightbearer Wizard, very easy. We just take out the machine gun, hide behind this column here, and it's not even going to enter super, which makes it really easy. Even if it does enter super, that's fine. You can just run back to the first room and wait for that super to go out. But what we're going to do here is there is a barrier champion immediately to our left, and if we can get it, great. If not, that's fine. You can see it starts to run back. It's a scared barrier knight, but we ended up stunning it, which is great. So we actually got it here. But worst case scenario, it's going to run out to the room about 20 feet away from you and hide behind that column that we're looking at to our left. But it didn't happen here, and even if it does, it's not that big of a deal. We're going to have 2 ogres spawn in. One of them is going to be unstoppable, as you can see. That's just the regular one that I'm shooting there. The unstoppable one usually hangs back for a little bit and ends up kind of slowly working his way toward this area here. He can work all the way up here. He usually doesn't look in this room, but he'll kind of stand at those steps right back there. So I like to just hang back here the whole time. There's no reason to go all the way out in this room and fight everything when we can just hide safely here and pick off all the enemies with our machine gun. Just makes it way easier. And there is also a solar light bearer, one of those hunters, and because it is solar burn, we want to make sure we're obviously, again, not out running in the middle. But I'm waiting for this ogre to just pop out, work his way up to here, and then we can easily take it out. So now both ogres are down. The barrier knight is also down. So really we just have a bunch of these solar boomer acolytes, which actually do quite a bit of damage. So watch out for them. But I'm going to focus on the Lightbearer acolyte here and easily take it out. Doesn't matter how you do it. And then we will need to take out all of these enemies in order to progress to the next area. You'll see there's like a green doorway there that's preventing us from moving forward. But we'll just kind of pick off everything here. Doesn't matter how you do it. We're at 3 minutes, and we are just about to hit the boss room. So for Warlock, I could probably optimize this a little bit more, but this is not terrible for farming. If we can get it to, I would say, 4 minutes per run consistently, maybe even under that, then this is a great farm. It's actually a lot better than I thought it would be for Warlock, at least. And so we one-shot the boss with the super. Pretty cool. And then we're going to have one barrier champion, one barrier knight spawn in. You can see he usually works his way down on the level that we're at now, kind of by where this knight is right now. So we'll see if he does that. But other than that, we're just going to have regular acolytes. We can hang all the way back here just to make sure we're safe. And there is that barrier champion. Always goes right there. And if the boss is still alive at this point, the boss is actually going to remain in the middle area while this barrier champion hangs out here. So we can only deal with that barrier champion, which is nice. And things get a little bit hectic in this last room. I had some bad luck with the barrier. I had to reload. And so I'm kind of running for my life here. So if you want to, you can absolutely just hang back in that previous room and pick off enemies one by one. But I finally collected myself here. We are pretty safe, just clearing out the last few enemies. Once the boss is dead and the barrier champion is dead, you can just go straight to the chest if you want to. You don't have to kill everything. But that is the Sepulcher Lost Sector. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this helped. I will see you in the Discord or in the next video.